Boy bites down on his pencil with a deadly grip. He tried to keep himself from making a strange noise, but he couldn't help it. The class laughed and laughed, but the teacher had had enough. She called him to the lectern and reprimanded him loudly. The teacher didn't believe him. He couldn't help himself. She thought he was being deliberately naughty and made him stand on the podium, apologizing to all the students. He had no choice. The boy had no choice but to apologize and promised not to make that strange noise again. But when he returned to his seat, the headmaster called his mother and said there was nothing the school teachers could do for him. He was advised to withdraw from school. The boy said helplessly that he couldn't control it, but the headmaster didn't believe it could happen. The boy's name was Cohen. In fact, it wasn't just the headmaster who didn't believe him. Even his mother's friends would say, "Why is he always barking like a dog?" Even Cohen's father didn't believe him. Father said, "You know what a good day is? It's when you can have a normal day." Cohen was frozen in tears as he was yelled at, feeling the strange stares of those around him as he walked along, making that strange sound all the while. Whenever he was nervous, he couldn't stop his body from trembling. This in turn angered his father. His parents divorced at an early age. At the time of separation, the father held his youngest son tightly. Cohen waited for the next hug of his own, but his father got up and left. He could only go up and hug his father and say, "I love you." His father just touched his head and left. But even if the world doesn't like him, there was always one person who was good to him. That was his mother. His mother took him to see a psychiatrist. The doctor looked at the strange Cohen. He made the judgment that Cohen was in denial about his parents' divorce. This was the reason for his strange behavior. Mom didn't believe him. She thinks everyone is going in the wrong direction. She went to the library to look up various medical books and finally found the answer in a book. It was a strange disease called Tourette syndrome. Excited, she asked the doctor again with the book. The doctor admitted that he had misdiagnosed it, but he also told her the harsh truth. There was no cure for this disease. The mother cried in despair. Cohen rushed forward to comfort her. He told her we'd get through this. Mom was a defiant woman. She didn't want her son to suffer from this disease for the rest of his life. So she took Cohen to the Patient Care Society. All of them had Tourette's, but they didn't all have the same condition. Some would stomp their feet, some would crane their necks, some would cough. The mother wanted the boys to learn how they lived, but these men were pessimistic, complaining about the injustice of society, and complained about the way people looked at them. Some even told the mother to keep the boy at home. The mother regretted it. She regretted bringing Cohen here. This is not a support group. It's more like a refuge for patients. Mom helped Cohen find a new school, but things didn't get any better here. His new classmates still bullied him and teased him. The new teacher still couldn't stand him, and he was sent straight to the headmaster. The headmaster looked at the boy seriously. He asked him what the school was all about. Cohen was about to apologize, but the headmaster interrupted him and said, "The point of school is to educate, to replace ignorance with knowledge." He then arranged for the boy to go to a concert. Cohen was nervous. He had never dared to attend such an event, and so it was. He twitched at times throughout the concert. He was making strange noises again. The headmaster took the stage. In front of everyone, he was asked to come on stage by name. Cohen knew he was about to face criticism again, but the headmaster asked him a question.
You like making noises and upsetting people, Brad?
No, sir.
Then why do you do it?
Because I have Tourette syndrome. Rob,
What's that?
it's a thing in my brain that causes me to make weird noises.
But you could control it if you wanted to, right?
No, sir. It's a sickness.
What can we do to help you, Brad?
I just want to be treated like everybody else.
After that, the headmaster sent the boy back. As Cohen stepped off the stage, there was a huge round of applause from the stage. For the first time, Cohen felt respected and understood. A few words from the principal changed Cohen's life. At that moment, Cohen was determined to become a teacher. He wanted to use the power of education to help heal the hearts of more children. Years later, Cohen was a grown man, fresh out of university. He would face even more skepticism when he wanted to become a teacher, because adults' prejudices are harder to change than children's. Cohen's CV was good, but his illness was a huge stumbling block. Every time the talk was good, whenever Cohen couldn't help but make a strange noise, the interviewer would reject him for any reason. That's just the way it is. Who would accept an unbalanced teacher to teach a student? Cohen failed one after another, one interview after another, one rejection after another. He pounded the steering wheel. He hated himself for it. But the odd scream comes out repeatedly like a provocation. He hit and bit himself and still couldn't stop. After healing himself, he rekindles his motivation. Because he knew, since he had chosen this path, he had to prove himself to the best of his ability. If he gives up halfway, it would be tantamount to surrender. He is convinced that it is not a matter of illness. It was that he hadn't found a school that appreciated him. So he circled all the schools on the map, printed out many copies of his CV, preparing for a carpetbagging campaign. After interviewing at 29 schools, finally one school offered him an olive branch. The principal greeted her warmly at the door. Cohen was overjoyed and shook hands, thanking the headmaster for this opportunity. Cohen gave a bold and honest account of his illness. Tourette's was the best teacher he had ever had. He wanted to use himself as an example to teach the children. No matter what the odds are, it's worth fighting for yourself. Hard work pays off. Cohen got the job. He became a primary school teacher. All the teachers came to help him set up his classroom. When his mother heard the good news, she cried with emotion too, even though Cohen had only received a one-year contract. But he will prove that he made the right choice.